Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to dive into some really fascinating new research that asks a pretty wild question. What if a video game could actually sense your stress and then actively help you chill out?
Okay, let's just start with a feeling I know you've had. You're in the zone, trying to beat that one boss, that one impossible level. Your heart starts pounding, your hands get a little sweaty. You know that feeling, that spike of frustration. We've all been there.
Now imagine right in that moment, the game itself could tell you were getting stressed out, not through some kind of magic, but by reading your body's own signals, using real-time data.
No, this isn't science fiction anymore. It's the cutting-edge stuff we're exploring today, all thanks to a brand new study from researchers at Idaho State University. They're trying to turn our tech into an emotional ally. So, this whole idea is a huge part of this fast-growing field called serious games. Now, I know the name sounds a little, well, serious, but the concept behind it is pretty brilliant. The key thing to get here is that these games are not just for fun. They're built with a specific purpose, They're designed to have a real positive impact on us, on our minds, our emotions, our social skills, all by using the power of a good game.
But how in the world does a game know what you're feeling? Well, the secret ingredient is this technique that's been around for a bit, but is now getting a whole new life inside our gadgets. It's called biofeedback.
The best way to think about it is like a direct conversation happening between your body and the game. Your body sends out a signal, say a faster heartbeat, and the game is actually listening, using that info as a whole new kind of controller. And here's exactly how that loop works. It all starts with you getting stressed. That makes your heart rate climb. Then a sensor, maybe on your smartwatch, picks that up. It zaps that info over to the game, and the game instantly adapts. Maybe it slows down a bit, gets a little easier, and that gives you a second to just breathe and get back in control. It's this perfect little circle designed to help you regulate yourself. So how do you actually test an idea like this? Well, you need a game that is pretty much guaranteed to cause some stress. And their choice? Oh, it was perfect. They built their own version of that notoriously difficult, super frustrating game, Flappy Bird. So they set up this experiment with 25 different people to see how playing different versions of this one stressful game would change their emotions and, more importantly, their actual physical stress levels. So the setup was basically a three-way competition. You had level 1, which was just the normal, brutal, ever harder game. Then you had level 2, the smart game, which would actually slow down by 30% if it sensed your heart rate going up. And finally, level 3, which was just like the smart game, but it also gave players a very clear goal: get to a score of 30. All right, so the big question is, which version came out on top? This is where the results get super interesting, and they tell us a lot about how we handle a challenge. First off, let's talk about how the players felt. The data here is crystal clear. Level 3, the game that adapted to their stress and gave them a target to shoot for, that's the one that created the most positive feelings. Turns out people really like having a clear goal when the game is helping them out. But check this out, because there's a really interesting detail when you compare the two smart games. While the game with a target, level 3, was the most positive, the open-ended one, level 2, was reported as the least negative. So what does that tell us? It suggests that just lowering the stress is good, but if you want to create a really fun, enjoyable experience, you need to add that clear goal on top. Okay, but what about the hard physical evidence? I mean, feelings are one thing, but did the game actually reduce the body's physical stress? To measure that, scientists use a metric called cardiac reactivity. It's basically just a scientific way of measuring how much your heart rate spikes when you're under pressure. And this chart, this is the mic drop moment of the entire study. Just look at that difference. Only level 3, the game that was both heart rate adaptive and had a clear target, was able to significantly lower the player's actual physical stress response. That combination was the absolute magic key. So, let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture here. Why does any of this matter? I mean, who really cares about a calmer version of Flappy Bird, right? Well, it's about much more than that. Let's just break down the big takeaways. We've proved that our heart rate can be a really effective new kind of game controller. We've learned that adaptive games feel more manageable and even fun. And adding a goal on top makes people happier. But the real headline here, the most important part, is that this tech can actually physically lower our stress. And the potential for this goes way beyond just entertainment. I mean, think about it. Imagine this tech built into training simulators for pilots or surgeons where stress is high.
Or what about educational software for kids that adapts when a student gets frustrated? Or even mental health apps that can actively teach us how to manage our own emotions? And that really leaves us with this one powerful final thought. For so long, our technology has been completely blind to how we feel. But studies like this show we are right on the edge of a new era, an era of emotionally intelligent tech that doesn't just do what we say, but that understands and supports us on an emotional level. And that, well, that could change everything.